time it is!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for checking out the C Squared Hour. I'm your host, Chris. I never know what to say after that. Bringing you another hour of fabulousness, or more accurately, another 48 minutes of mediocrity. Coming to you again from my office bunker / whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we're in the middle of December now. Everyone get their Christmas shopping done. You gotta worry because of the supply chain, right? I haven't noticed. The one thing I did notice about this whole thing, it's been a pain in the ass to find quality tennis balls for my dog. She's a bit of a... Well, she has like 2 really sharp teeth. So if you buy any sort of shitty tennis ball, I know, what's a shitty compared to... If you buy any sort of shitty one, she goes through it really quick. Even the like specialized dog ones aren't that good. So you have to buy high quality tennis balls. $3 worth of them. And it's been a pain in the ass finding those. So who knows if the supply thing is real. I know tennis balls are tough. Well, it's happening, folks. For those of you who are avid listeners, who want to show everybody in the world that there is a fledgling podcast that they listen to, I have started a merch store. That's right, you've asked. I have given. Now, before you get too excited, there's nothing, I haven't designed anything yet. That's going to be a whole different thing. Hopefully tomorrow, hopefully whatever. But the store's there. I hit like a kind of like a real goal recently. Again, kind of embarrassing, so I'm not going to say it. So it's like finally like, okay, this might be a real fucking thing now. I might have to turn this into a job rather than a hobby. I mean, a job sitting here for a fucking hour and then watching Apocalypse Now. Not much of a job, but I'm hoping that the chair squeaking isn't getting picked up. Because, you get a free gaming chair, you'd expect it to work. You'd wonder why it squeaks sometimes. It wasn't free. I got it with rewards from my debit card, so fuck off. Yeah, so hit a real goal, so I decided, I'm going to have to start really doing shit with this. So, storefront, it's going to be up. Obviously, shirts, hats, because everyone knows, who knows me, I'm a hat guy. We'll see, maybe coffee cups. I don't know. Shot glasses. Be on the lookout for that. I'll put it on all my socials. And I'll see if the sites allow me to put the link in my description for the description of my show on all the things. So, but be on the lookout if you want a shirt or anything. And before any of you get on me about prices or why something's a different price than the other or what have you, I don't set them. Well, I kind of do. They tell me you're going to make this much profit on it. This is what most people, I'm setting it for $1 less than what most people charge for everything in the category. So, you're welcome. Not sure why that part's important, but what can you do? Since I am hitting that second goal, what you want to do is make sure there's technical issues, right? I just realized for probably the last 5 or 6 episodes, I had my second mic on for no goddamn reason. So hopefully this sounds better. I'm not picking up any random shit from the other microphone or other sounds, which could be where all... long story short, hopefully this sounds better. I don't have my other mic on. Finally. I actually just had to check it just to make sure. I didn't want to do that again. My longtime listeners are obviously going to be asking the usual question: where's Chris? Kind of a sad story. He's been in the hospital probably for the last 3 months or so. He broke his toe, really just on a stupid thing. He went to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and just stubbed his, it was actually his third toe in. I don't know, the ring toe. I don't know what you call that. But he, roast beef. He stubbed it going, I don't know how you stubbed that toe and not the other ones. I haven't been able to ask. Anyway, broke that toe. He just kind of muscled through it. It was, bothersome, but nothing you couldn't, work through or sit through or anything like that. So he was doing that. This is about, I would say, 8 months ago this happened. Unfortunately, because it was ignored and where the break was and all the stuff, all the additional movement that happens with the toe and all the pressure that gets puts on it and what have you, it got infected, which wouldn't have been that big of an issue. However, he didn't notice it. Because it was so black and blue, he didn't realize the green color it was turning. So he just let it go, till about 4 months ago when he realized that his scrotum skin was turning green. And obviously, if you know the other Chris, there's a handheld mirror down there every day. So obviously he caught that right away. Luckily. So runs into the hospital, getting it checked out. They're trying to knock down the infection. The problem is he keeps getting sent from the ER out to just a random room, back to the ER. He keeps running back and forth, because they keep moving him based on COVID forecasts, which none of them have come to fruition because Omicron hasn't hit the U.S. as hard. Apparently, after that whole episode I did last time, it's hitting South Africa worse or whatever. Oh, the new strain's resistant to the vaccine. No shit, that's what happens with mutations, dumbass. Anyway, basing it on the COVID forecast. Well, the forecast they're getting from the Washington State branch of the CDC and the national CDC are completely different. So they'll follow the Washington State one, which is obviously more doom and gloom than most of them, because you want to limit. Won't go into that just yet. So they go a week worrying about that, then realizing it's not happening, and go to the national one, and then they get scared again in a week, 2 weeks, and base it off the... Anyway, he's been back and forth, so they haven't been able to control it because they've been just dealing with that. So he's still fighting this infection. Hopefully they could get it squared away soon enough. So thoughts and prayers, everybody. Thoughts and prayers. Before the show really gets going, I have to say it again. Randy, where are you at? Let's lace him up. Gave you the offer Saturday again. Got to see my favorite comedian live and in person. And I brought you with me. But the offer stands. Let's lace him up, bud. Or come on here, announce that you're a big hairy pussy, and everything will be settled. Okay, not going to go into it too much because I don't want to fucking sound like too much of a hack. Even though I've been challenging him to boxing matches for years, before the celebrity thing really took off, all right? In fact, on this show, I may have done it before the celebrity thing really took off. I may not have. I'm not going to hitch my wagon to that statement. So, Don't try to cancel me over that being a liar. Hey, Bill O'Reilly's back on TV. That's cool. I have a new news channel I'm watching. I don't know what it's called, but the dude from Live PD is one of the hosts, and he's interviewing Bill O'Reilly. Man, Bill O'Reilly working on his own does not do his hair and makeup as much. That is quite the chin gobble, or whatever you call that. Turkey neck. Yep, Randy, lace him up. Once again, I tried to be done with ESPN. It lasted about 16 hours. I was watching the Lomachenko fight. He fought Comey. Fun fight. But watching all the ESPN commentators bend over backwards trying to suck their own asshole about how great this fighter is that's on their platform. It was disturbing. It was annoying. Over the last 10, 15 years, no one has ever accused ESPN of being non-biased. All right? You watch any Red Sox coverage, you'll see that. But the fact that they were so blatantly trying to suck Loma's dick after he lost to Lopez, and I don't remember if he fought before. I should have probably looked this up before I started going in on this. Actually, you know what? I will look it up. Lomachenko fight history. Okay, yeah. He fought the Nakatani guy out of Japan, knocked him out in the 9th round, and went to a decision against Richard Comey. Richard Comey is a good fighter. If you're going to try to call Lomachenko one of the best in the world or whatever, he has to knock Comey out. It can't go to the cards. And well, he's been hurt and fighting. He's been fighting an injury for 2.5 fucking years. All right, let's stop this. And it's not his fault. I'm not the biggest fan. I think he's pretty overrated. But maybe he's overrated because he's on an ESPN platform and he's their biggest name, minus Tyson Fury, who's under the Top Rank banner. And so they're trying to build up hype. But there's building up hype and there's being blatantly obvious. My boy Timothy Bradley was trying hard to toe the company line and still be a commentator. And he did what he could, but goddamn. They were comparing him to Gervonta Davis. But Gervonta Davis hasn't been tested. Really? He knocked out Leo Santa Cruz 2 years in a row, won the fight of the year. Watching that fight and watching how the coverage went, I was going to be done with ESPN. Then I watched SportsCenter Sunday. So, luckily with ESPN coverage, they had, I wouldn't say a monopoly, but they have everything covered, so to speak. They have their dick in basically everything out there right now, darts even. So there's not a whole lot of opportunities to see how bad they do this, but when it comes to boxing, there's real competition for the lead in, the worldwide leader in sports. Well, still not exactly boxing. Top Rank doesn't have the best fighters, not their fault. But you don't get to see a chance for how horrible they are about, again, sucking their own asshole. I don't know why I'm going back to that term, and I apologize. It's just they're bending over backwards to ... and then I have to figure something out. So anyway, it's their boy, so he's back to the top pound for pound in the world. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not even fucking close. He's not there yet. Who they're talking about? Gambosa or whatever. They're talking about that being his next fight, or Gamboa or whatever. That's not going to prove anything either. And again, it's not Loma's fault. So before all my squareheads go out there and jump down his throat on social media, not his fault. It's just the promotion. ESPN works so... And I liked most of the guys on the coverage. They had to really go after it and annoy the shit out of me. So I banned them for 16 hours on my TV. Real quick, another thing I noticed on that card, Nico Ali Walsh, the grandson of Muhammad Ali, was fighting. He got another win. This is going to come out wrong. So before this goes out there, just know that this is going to come out wrong. He looks awful white. Which, no problem at all. And then they show his parents, and Muhammad Ali's daughter is married to a Caucasian gentleman. Again, what have you. Muhammad Ali was buddies with Malcolm X. If I remember correctly, and if I remember a lot of things, Malcolm X did not like Whitey. In fact... Again, I'm stupid, alright? But I almost want to say that I don't know. Anyway, Malcolm X did not like Whitey, alright? Which would lead you to believe that Muhammad Ali, during those times, wasn't a big fan of Whitey. Fair enough. I would love to know if he got over that. I need to stop this here because, look, you know what I'm saying, all right? It's odd to see Muhammad Ali's... Anyway, Nico Walsh looked okay, but not as... He was on the card for the name. I don't see him doing anything real big in boxing. So, all right, I'll stop talking about boxing for those people who know nothing about it. If you guys buy enough of my merch and, start supporting this more, and I can get advertisers and I get enough, I saw the perfect business opportunity. There is a bar in downtown Spokane that is up for sale. Of course, bars go out of business, especially in the COVID era, all the time. Here's the thing about this place. The building is for sale. There's a bar in the bottom, and then a bunch of those downtown apartments built above the bar. Entrepreneurial Chris is coming out here, guys. Just call me Chris Trump at this point, because of the real estate stuff, not because of the politics. Why not? And this is a government rebate I can get behind. All right? I can get behind this being spent. Why not? Why are there not more bars that buy the apartments above and rent them out, night by night or what have you? You get too drunk to drive home? Hey, go up to the bartender and say, I need a room. Here's the key to room 206. There you go. If you need a smash pad, if you don't want to drive this broad back to your house, you don't want her to know where she lives, rent room 405. If you're hiding it from your significant other, why is that not a thing? Is it a thing? And you know what? Before you answer that, I know why it's a thing. It's all separate licenses and business licenses, and you have to have this sort of certification for this sort of certification. Whatever. A government program I can get behind is allowing bars to also operate those sort of things. It's like a hotel bar, but more of a it's like a cross between those pay by the hour hotels and a real hotel. It's a classier version of the pay by hour because no, you're renting for the night. You're not renting by the hour. There's no by the hour shit. It's still there. But you could do it at the time. You could do it right there at the bar. Am I the first person to think of this? If I am, shame on America. Shame on businessmen for not thinking of this beforehand. Real quick, the guy from Live PD does weird shit when he's listening to people with his teeth. I don't know if they redid it for his new news show on News Nation or what have you, but he's a lot goofier when he's hosting his own show than he is on those super cool police and court shows. America used to be the land of opportunity, the land of innovation. I have just given you a game changer for safety, for public health, for, marriage rates, for whatever, domestic safety. You get a crazy guy or girl showing up to your house in the middle of the night, 2 weeks after you. I have given you the blueprint. I will tell you why it'll never take off. Because it's putting money in businesses' pockets by taking away from the government. How are you going to charge someone 10 grand for a DUI if they could just get a room at the bar? It's a smaller level thing. You still get parking tickets if you leave your car overnight. Even if you call a cab to pick you up so you don't drive drunk, you still get parking tickets. There should be, up until 11 the next day, there should be a grace period between 1 a.m. and 11 a.m. If you paid for the initial parking and then you leave your car there should be a grace period. There's not. You know why? Because the government gets parking tickets. And that's why this will never take off. It is the perfect way. I'm not going to pretend to know all the numbers. I didn't look into this. I just was stuck in traffic, saw a bar with apartments above it. The building was for sale. I'm thinking, there's an idea. But I would be willing to bet, and I'm going to undersell this a little bit, I think it would cut back on probably 87% of DUIs out there. Sounds about right? No, it doesn't. Nowhere near right. You want me to get behind government rebate? And that's the thing. You should allow these companies, if it's a private company doing this, rebates for it, or you only have to pay for one of the business licenses, or whatever. It's never going to happen. But that's a rebate system I can get behind. Speaking of giving money back, I am so awful at segues, but I'm so good at the same time. How does that happen? I don't know. I may have already covered this, but I'm going to cover it again because everyone's worried about the Omicron or the whatever. Went out, there's a Indian casino 5 minutes from my house. Literally. I went out there with my buddy, and we were basically, we were hanging out, had dinner. It was his birthday, so we took him out for dinner and gambled and what have you. They do not care about social distancing or masks or anything like that. COVID does not exist on or at that casino or on the... Can we just say, if Native Americans are comfortable with a foreign disease, isn't that a better barometer than anything we can look at study-wise? If anyone's going to be worried about a foreign disease, it wasn't long ago where the smallpox blanket was an issue, right? Wiped out a lot of their people. Wow, that was a foreign disease that got... Well, here's COVID, and they're like, you know what? It's obviously not bad enough, so let's go ahead and not worry about it. Well, I already said Magic Johnson is one of the foremost experts on viruses. And when the Dodgers won the World Series, he wasn't wearing a mask, so wasn't too worried about it then. And this is during like the like quarantine time or in the bubble era. So if he wasn't wearing a mask at the time, I wasn't too worried about it. And now that I see how the native casinos are having it, or at least the one I went to, are handling it, maybe it's time to just shut the fuck up and get over this. There's a new flu every year. There's going to be a new COVID every year, probably. Let's just get over it. Really what pisses me off is I forgot my mask. Forgot it. Parked way away because I don't like fucking with parking lots. I just sit back. I just park and walk the extra, 500 feet or whatever it is. Forgot a mask. Got looked at like, or I got sent back to my car to go get it, which, whatever, private company, I'll let you do whatever you want. However, I have made it abundantly clear that I will wear a mask, no problem, just because, fuck it. It's not going to be an issue for me. It doesn't bug me. A person like me, who is willing to do that, who forgets it once in a while, once every 3 weeks or whatever, shouldn't have to go all the way back to their car. You should say, oh, well, forgot it this time. Sorry. And go about your day. That's what annoys me. And then you go in there and they only target for the mask thing. They're only targeting the people that look like wouldn't get pissed off about the mask thing. I forget where I went to, probably Walmart. I don't know. Seems like the place where the mask thing would be. But I get there and like, oh, sorry, here's a mask. Do you need a mask? It's required. Yeah, okay, sorry, I forgot it. They give it to me and what have you. But I go there, and as I'm walking out, I see 4 or 5 people walking in without a mask who I hate to prejudge, look like they would throw a fit about having to wear a mask. Still, or even probably then, not a word said to them. So I am getting persecuted for being a reasonable gentleman. That's what annoys me. They're only selecting it because they know, they look at me and say, you know what, this guy isn't going to be a problem. Let's just do this. So, and then you walk around and obviously there's a third of the people not wearing them, and you could tell all those people were not asked at the door. Anyway, my big point about this, Magic Johnson, not worried about COVID. From what I've seen, any Native American facility, this includes the convenience store that's owned by them that I frequent, doesn't seem worried about it. Those two groups, if they're not worried about this virus, I don't think we should be either. All right, so I may have pissed off the Nation of Islam in this episode, might have just pissed off Native Americans. Here we go. I'm looking at my list here. Yes, I do have a fucking list. I've gone off topic quite a bit so far, but there's a list of... Anyway, a lot of people might get upset. Seattle Seahawks are not doing well. Living in the Pacific Northwest, I have to hear about it all the time. And I could go into the 12th bag all day. The phoniness of it. We used to sell out even when we were bad. No, you didn't. I've been to games. Shit, when you were bad, you couldn't even sell out Husky Stadium. Anyway, because I think that's the only Seahawks game I've been to was when they were playing at Husky Stadium. They're still in the AFC West. Yes, 12th baggers, they were in the AFC. Well, the Seahawks are not doing well this year. Here is the quote from the news article I read about the state of the Seahawks. Jody Allen, the sister of Paul Allen, has been very hands-on and is not happy with their performance. Do I have to say it, folks? There's your issue. A broad whose only qualification is her brother got rich is hands-on with the team. What in the good fuck? Of course they're not doing good. If this gash is hands-on, the people who know what the fuck they're doing are going to have to listen to some... Because she's everyone's boss. She's everyone's boss in the organization, right? So you're going to have to listen to her no matter what you do. If she's hands-on with how the football team is playing, there's why they're playing bad. What'd she do? Oh, well, she ran Paul Allen's charity group till 2016. Okay. And that means you can be hands-on with an NFL team. But can't say it anymore. You can't say it. You can't say shit like this because you know what? She could do just as good as Paul Allen as an owner. Apparently not. But you know what? Hey, she's a woman. And you know what? They could do just as good as men. I don't care what the scouting department says. I don't care what your GM says. I don't care what... No, you know what? The woman who's an owner, that's who we listen to. And it's funny. The Seahawks are tanking and she's hands-on with them. The Blazers seem to be tanking and there's talk that she is hands-off with that. So maybe this bitch doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. And there's always that argument that maybe she decided since the Trailblazers have kind of been taking, she's hands off with that. She doesn't want to rock the boat too much, so she'll just be hands on with the Seahawks. I don't know why I have to keep saying this shit. You're not qualified to be hands-on. I would have said the same thing about Paul Allen, probably. I didn't look into it too much, and he owned it when I was a kid, so I didn't have much to say about it. But what the fuck is this gash who only... Really... Her career is based on having a rich brother, which is fine. Nepotism or whatever, siblingism, that's all fine, well and good. I don't mind that. But stay in your fucking lane. Talk to sponsors. Get your money. Make sure the CFO is making sure your bank account's in the black. That's it. Don't be hands-on with the fucking personnel and shit like that, but... No, we can't say that. You know, I guarantee you, if this was Paul Allen's brother, if this was the same story with Paul Allen's brother, there would be talk about, he needs to step back, he needs to step away, I'm not seeing any of those stories about her. Because we can't say that anymore, right? The one thing Seattle could take solace in this year is at least the NFL doesn't use those fruity handkerchiefs the CFL uses. Holy shit. I watched the Grey Cup. Yeah, I did. Why the fuck not? All right. If you watch them throw a flag, it's red or orange or whatever. And it is literally a handkerchief. There is no weight on it, so you throw it up and it floats down to the ground. Very soft. Is there anything more Canadian than that? Let's take football and make it a little softer, all right? Because they're not making it soft enough as it is. Real quick, I'll get into this more. We're at the point with contact sports, hockey, football. If you're going to go in the professional league, just you're going to have to sign a fucking waiver. Say, hey, look, we have this fund for you if your head gets fucked up, but you're taking the risk. Just sign that fucking waiver, and we could be done with all this CTE shit and all that. Yeah, oh, what about the college kids? And they knew the risk, too. Yeah, there's nothing more Canadian than that little handkerchief they throw for penalties. Probably because the way, the NFL has the ones that are weighted, and they are, they drop to the ground very quickly. Might be a little too aggressive. Since the CFL has a weird point things, I never knew if they were within one score or two scores or anything. But yeah, those handkerchiefs are cute. So you know what? No matter how bad you are, Seattle, no matter how bad you are, Houston, no matter how bad you are, Detroit, you don't have to look at those dumb handkerchiefs that get thrown. At least the flags fall like something. I do have a very... Hey, does that headline say O.J. Simpson is officially off parole? Oh, you see, they tease me with it. Then the only thing at the bottom is the thing about tornado, which was sad. It was sad. Okay, but I need my OJ update. I need my fantasy football expert. I need to know what's going on with him. Anywho, I don't know if I was done with the dumb handkerchief, not, but well, I am now. You see, in the CFL, there's a lot of players who were supposed to be big, and that the draft bust, or he was a draft bust in the NFL. Real quick opinion I'm gonna have: if you have injury problems, if you tore your ACL in your rookie year or your first game or the preseason and you never got back from that, you're not a draft bust. Just shitty luck. That's all it is. If you have injury problems, that does not make you a bust. That makes you unlucky. The way I thought of it, the way I describe it, you could buy a brand new car and wreck it in 2 months. That doesn't make the car a lemon. Right? So if you compare athletes to cars, you could say they are property. If you compare athletes to cars, how does an injury turn someone into a bust? It's not that their talent didn't translate. It's not that their personality didn't match well for professional. No, it was they got their knee fucking cut off in a game. You're not a bust if that happens. Again, a wrecked car does not mean the car was fucked up. Now, it may have been the guy who's driving the car's fault. It may have been that player who became injury prone. May have been an issue with them. But it's not the car's fault. I'm getting close to the end here, and I have a couple topics left. One is kind of evergreen. The other one, well, here's a quick one. Alex Jones found guilty of, I don't know if guilty is the right word, but he was found liable for Sandy Hook defamation. I don't know if anyone's actually surprised or not. Regardless of if you think he did it or he should be allowed to, whatever. It's Alex Jones. All right. You know what? I was gonna make something funny, but Chris Cuomo's just got fired too. That's gonna be an interesting saga to watch. But yeah, Alex Jones. Yeah, he defamated the quote unquote crisis actors. Jesus Christ. People were just looking to get that guy, and it's fine. He put the target on him, but don't pretend like you don't know what the fuck he was doing. Don't pretend like you don't know that he says wacky shit to get people to listen to him. That's what he does. Hell, that's what I'm doing, okay? I don't like Alex Jones. I don't agree with Alex Jones, but to sit here and say, because of this, no, it wasn't. But then again, he riles up his base, and then his base goes after him, and that's where the problem, because I don't know. I got no opinion on it, really. I'm just not surprised. People are surprised. I don't know. Oh, good. Oh, I thought I was going to miss out on it. You could sign up for COVID exposure alerts. Why? Why is that needed? Why do you have to sign up for another app? Why do you have to sign up for another thing? Look, your phone's already tracking you. Google, Apple, Facebook, they're already tracking you. In fact, within the first year of Trump's administration, he sent the presidential alert to everyone's fucking phone. You remember that? Everyone's cell phone got the alert through text that says, oh, why do we need to sign to something else? You're gonna fucking do it anyway. I guarantee you, if you have, I don't guarantee it. I just talked about Alex Jones, so maybe I need to slow down on the guarantees, huh? Maybe I might run into... Being a gambling man, I would be willing to bet there's going to become a point within the near future that if you test positive for COVID, and this might be what, I didn't look into it too much, this might be what's happening, they're going to just mark you down, and I don't know how to describe this, but look, there's not a need for a separate app. There's not a need to sign up. You're already opted in by using Android, by using iPhone, by using social media. You've already opted into all the same shit. Just use that. Don't make us sign up for other shit. The problem is they would have to cut down. They would have to lift the veil all the way off of saying yeah, we track everything you do. So, you've been around people with COVID. You're welcome. Even without... That's the difference. They're letting people sign up to make them feel like they have some sort of control over it. You don't. The only difference between you signing up and someone else not signing up is who gets the alerts. Okay, you can get alerts if you were near somebody with COVID. That person who had COVID isn't getting alerts who they got it from, but you know what? Everyone who could see this shit knows where they got it from. Let's stop. I was going to say something here, but I don't know. There is a good level of the American population, of the world population, that doesn't need their handheld, that doesn't need to be spoon-fed this shit slowly before they say, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, we're tracking everything you fucking do. I mean, that's what they did with the whole Facebook thing. It's well, no. Ads are just based on what you look at or what you click on. And now they're just based on algorithms based on... And then it finally goes, oh yeah, no, we track everything we do and we sell it to fucking everybody. Most of us knew that. Most of us knew that before any congressional hearings. You could tell that shit was getting sold from them. I'm going to jump on my phone, which is here, on silent. I'm going to jump on my phone after we get done, and I'm going to scroll through news stories, and it's going to be about something I talked about. Like, specifically something I talked about. And we all know, so why sign up for the separate one? Just tell people, hey, all this shit that tracks you, we're going to use that to show you who exposed you to COVID. Because that's not going to problem the issue. So, let's see. Who have I pissed off? ESPN fans, I guess. Native Americans, possibly. Well, I'm getting closer to the end of this. I have... You know what? Fuck it. If this runs long, I've given you too many short episodes. You might get a longer one here. Finally, you know, your boy with epilepsy here had to just take a little break. He got a little too wound up. Finally, someone in the mainstream has said it. What I've been saying for years. Elon Musk, according to a recent quote or article or interview he did, doesn't think if you're over 70, you should be able to run for any sort of public office. I'm sorry. It may not be any sort of public office. It may be specific, Senate, Congress, national office, whatever. He may not be talking about. Anyway, over 70 shouldn't be able to run for office. No fucking shit. These people who are getting elected into office are making decisions for 40, 50, 60 years when they're only going to be around for 5 of them. 10 of them, maybe. I don't know if they have access to the Illuminati baby cells that could keep them alive for a long time. Maybe even longer. I don't know. But he said it. We have a minimum age. You have to be a minimum age to run for specific offices. Isn't that the same thing? No, that's ageism. That's discriminating against seniors. Well, you're discriminating against intelligent 28-year-olds who could run for Congress or who could run for president or whatever. Yes, if you're over 70, you should... I'll just say it. National office. You should not be allowed to run for national office if you're over 70. Yep, your boy's getting wound up, cracking one more beer even for the end of this. Oh, by the way, you know what I'm drinking? None of your goddamn business because he didn't give me a recommendation. Look, I don't trust a lot of people over 70 behind the wheel of a car. And we're going to let them vote on a budget that's going to last 40 years. We're going to let them... Yeah, if you're over 70, you shouldn't get to run for office. Your days have passed. I think Elon Musk is a bit of a twat. No fault of his own. He's just a fucking science guy. I know I'm going out on a limb here. Elon Musk is kind of weird. And he's a little bit of what I see as a phony. But again, it's because he's goofy. It's not because he's trying to do something. He's the Andrew Yang kind of phony, where you're not trying to be phony, you're just goofy. And you can't hide that fact. So anytime you try to do something non-goofy, you look like a phony. Elon Musk bugs me. And I don't mind saying that. However, I would like to hear, and no one's going to fucking do this. I beg and I plead for people to DM me or comment on my shit or do the... No one's going to fucking do it. Alright? No one's going to do it. But I beg and plead for people to sit there and say, hey, you know what? I disagree with this opinion. DM me. They're wide open. All social media. Well, the main three, I guess. What is wrong with that argument? What is wrong with saying, hey, if you're over 70, maybe you shouldn't be making decisions for the country that could be lasting 40, 50 years because you might not be. Again, my point, very simplistic. Let's try that. You see, your boy opened another beer and all of a sudden the words ain't coming out right. My very simplistic view of this is if you have a minimum age, why not have a maximum age? I would like to hear the argument against that. Now, if your argument is you shouldn't have a minimum age, if you're an adult, you should be able to run for anything. That means no matter how old you are, you should be allowed to run for anything. I'll hear that argument. I can kind of see where you're coming from on that. Again, I'm not going to let someone who could technically still be on their parents' insurance make decisions for the entire country. So there's that. There's my argument against that. So I already argued with that. But if that's your point, if you're saying, look, once you're an adult, you should be able to run for whatever you want, so you can run until you're done, I'll hear that argument. I just gave you the counter argument, and I'm right. So so you can make that argument all you want, but I already gave you the right answer. So that is what your boy has for the second week of December. I want to thank all of my quote-unquote squareheads. Obviously, you guys are sharing this around or telling people or just came up naturally. What could have possibly happened is I put up the title of my episode 2 or 3 episodes ago was Time to March. Maybe a lot of people saw that and like, oh yeah, how are we going to get into this? And it was just some fucking dumb opinion I had. A few of those people stuck around, so that could be why there's more listeners coming in. Because I noticed that episode peaked quite a bit. I don't know why. Maybe people don't like, what's her face? Megan Rapinoe. Maybe that's why. Yeah, so I'm getting more listeners. I hit another goal. There's a very good chance that something is going to happen before the end of the year. And if that happens, I'm going to do something special or something. But I'm not going to say it now. I want to remind everybody, I am starting up a store. You're going to get shirts and hats at least. Hey, fuck, they'll let me make socks. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, starting up a store. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be on all my socials. And if I could put it in the descriptions on all the platforms I'm on, I'll put it there, but I don't know what the rules are and shit like that. Before I go, let's send out thoughts and prayers to Chris with his nutsack infection. And let's challenge Randy to the fight. And if there's nothing else, I will see you all next time.